Hey guys, welcome back to Legal Marketing Live. Glad to have you here with us today. My name is Danny Decker, and I'm joined by Cody Lanham. And we've got a really good show for you guys today. I know I say that every week, but this time I really mean it. This is going to be some good stuff here. So before we dive in, I want to tell you guys about the next referral raffle program that we're running. So we are offering 3 great prizes. The winner of our grand prize drawing will get to choose from either a brand new 27-inch iMac. Awesome machine. It's what we use here at our office. Be great for your office. Be great for your home office or whatever. 2 is a Trek mountain bike. So if you or someone that you know is really into biking, this is a chance to pick out your own model up to a $2,000 value. Really great, exciting bike. 3, because we know we're entering into holiday season here and it's about to be Christmas shopping time, we're going to give away a $2,000 Amazon gift card. So that'll take care of a big portion of your Christmas shopping. You can use that for just one person. You can use that for your entire list, whatever you want to do, but it'll be your choice of any one of those 3 options.
Huge.
Big deal, right?
Yeah.
So as always, if you guys know somebody that could benefit from our services, we just ask that you follow the link that we're going to drop in the comments. Send us their information. And this doesn't have to be somebody that's ready to make a hiring decision immediately. If you just know somebody out there who wants to have a conversation about their internet marketing, wants to talk about how to drive more referrals, how to look like an expert, we just asked you send them our information, and Cody's going to have a conversation with them, and we'll just find out if it's a good fit or not. It's a very low pressure, low risk scenario. So hope you guys will take us up on that. Second thing here is, Cody, you were just in New Orleans, right?
Correct.
When did you get back?
Late midnight on Tuesday.
Nice. And it was for the Clio Cloud 9 conference, right?
That is correct, yeah.
So tell us about it. How was it?
Yeah. So I'm still processing a lot that went on, but a few things come to mind. One, if you are an attorney or a law firm and you're using Clio and you haven't attended, I would recommend you attend. Huge deal. Just the culture of Clio and the people who work there and the people who attend this conference, enlightening. It absolutely was. So definitely attend if you're a Clio user. If you're not, and you're not using any type of practice management software, look into Clio. I can't help but think that it's a game changer for any law firm. A lot of the people that I met were, and here's the great thing, Danny, is like a lot of the people were non-practicing attorneys who created a tech company that integrated with Clio. So, it wasn't a lot of techie geek back and forth conversation that a lot of people would, their eyes would glaze over. I was talking to attorneys who had firsthand knowledge of the legal landscape, but also who could articulate well on how to use their software in Clio. So it was absolutely great. Of course, the after hours networking events were absolutely great. And I just had a tremendous time the whole time.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know some of the people that work at Clio, and I've always been really impressed with the company, and I know they do a really good job with their conferences. So cool. All right, so let's jump into our topic today. So we're going to talk about why you are missing out on referrals and what to do about it, right? Big deal. So first off here, I want to just share a statistic that we've talked about a lot, but it's a really big deal. And there's a study out there that Texas Tech School of Business did, which shows that the average attorney is only getting about 1/3 of the referrals that they could be getting from people within their existing network. So we're talking about past clients, current clients, lawyers in other practice areas, family, friends. On average, you're only getting 1/3 of those referrals, of the referrals you could be getting from those people. In other words, they're willing to send business your way, but they're just not doing it. So the question is, why not? And I think there's 2 main reasons. It's about education and it's about awareness. The first is education. They need to understand what it is that you do and who it is that you help, right? They need to be able to recognize when there's an opportunity to send a referral. And don't take it for granted that everybody knows this. They most often don't, especially non-lawyers just don't necessarily understand your practice areas and what's a good fit. So number 1, they don't recognize the opportunity, and then number 2 is they just forget about you over time, right? Maybe it was a past client that you had a few years ago. Maybe it's someone you met at an event 9 months ago. But if you don't have some sort of proactive system for staying top of mind, people just slip out of their mind and they don't recognize the opportunity when it passes them. So really big deal. That's what we're going to talk about here today. It's education and it's awareness.
Yeah.
Any thoughts there?
One thing I heard from a past client or a client of ours told me one time that there's 2 things an attorney hates to hear the most, and that's I forgot you did that, and I didn't know you do that. And so things like a simple monthly newsletter, just to stay top of mind, to continue to remind people what you do, who you are, and really just how they can get in touch with you is absolutely huge. And you use that statistic about that attorneys are only getting 1/3 of the referrals they should. Let's look at it like you're not getting business that should already be yours, and that's a huge deal. And that would that in itself is enough to make sure that I have the right things in place.
Yeah. Great point. And we sometimes have conversations with lawyers who are like, well, I'm already getting a lot of referrals. Yeah. Most of my business already comes from referral. So what I really need to do is focus on other sources of business. And now, of course, we're going to say it's a good idea to diversify, your source of business. But just because you're getting a lot of your business from referrals, actually what the statistic that I just shared with you should do is make you realize, holy crap, what if I tripled that? What if say I'm getting, 10, 15 referrals a month? What if I was getting 30? What if I was getting 45? How much different would your business look if your referrals tripled? It's a pretty big deal, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the questions that I'll ask an attorney or a potential client when they come to me is, one of the things they'll say is, I want more clients. And then the next thing I'll say is, well, does it matter where those new clients come from? And so a lot of times they forget that there's this huge pool of resources that they can tap into, and so it's almost like putting the cart before the horse.
Yeah.
Clients will come to us wanting things like SEO, and so let's back up and let's plug up the holes in your ship and figure out what can we capitalize on now, so you don't have to spend that extra money on things like SEO.
Yeah, it's like I like to say, referrals are the low-hanging fruit, right?
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
Most of you out there aren't capitalizing on all the referrals you could be getting, and that's easy to do. It's easy to fix. It's a lot harder. It's a lot more expensive to go out there and say, all right, I'm going to fight my way to the top of Google search rankings. Right. I'm going to own the #1 spot on Google for my practice area. I'm not saying that's not a viable source of business, but it's going to take a long time. It's going to take a lot of work,
a lot of money.
And a lot of money. And statistically speaking, you're probably not going to get there because there's only one person that can be there. So just odds aren't in your favor. So focus on the easy stuff, right?
Absolutely. And Danny, I want to share a couple of statistics with everyone. And I actually learned this from Clio. And they did the keynote was about how people find attorneys. Like, it was a consumer behavior report, and so 62% of consumers get a referral from a family or friend. Like, that's how they find an attorney. The second was 37% of consumers, they go to online search engines, and then 31% of consumers actually get referrals from other attorneys. So that tells me how important referrals actually are.
Yeah, referrals are a really big deal. And one other thing I'll say on that is that referred clients are almost always your best clients.
Absolutely.
Because they're already preconditioned what to expect. They come in the door already trusting you because they were referred to you by somebody that they know. They already know what to expect in terms of rates, in terms of process. So there's just not a lot of surprises with referred clients. Also, referred clients are statistically far more likely to then turn around and refer you to other people. Mm-hmm. So referrals are just straight up the best way to grow your practice, and usually it's the best place to start as well. So all right, let's get specific, Cody. Let's talk about some of the practical ways that attorneys can do this. And you kind of touched on it already, but let's talk about the email newsletter, because I think that's probably the biggest deal. So what do we like educate people out there who who aren't familiar with exactly what we do? What do we recommend as far as the email newsletter goes?
Well, one, we want to make sure that it's short and sweet. So we only want to put information in that's very relative. Obviously, this goes to your network of people. And I'm sure everybody would agree that everyone is a referral source. So whether it's past clients, current clients, colleagues, friends, family, we want to make sure that everybody gets that monthly reminder that, again, who you are, what you do, and how they can reach you. As far as what we put in it, again, just relevant information related to your practice. It's not grandma's favorite cookie recipe. It's like the 10 steps to do when this happens, or 5 things to know, when you're going through this or whatever. And then also we want to make sure to drive people back to your website. And the idea is that so hopefully they dive a little bit deeper into your website, getting more familiar with who you are and how you can help them. Obviously, eventually getting to where they call you on the phone. All of this is creating more of a shorter close time as well.
Yeah, no, exactly. And it's funny you mentioned the grandma's cookie recipe, because we've seen those many times. Yeah. It's actually amazing how many newsletters we get, because we subscribe to a lot of this stuff. And you'll see attorneys out there promoting or talking about the cookie recipes. They're talking about, they're just sharing stuff that's not related in any way to what they do. And so the thing to do is to focus on your audience, right? Like, what does your audience want to hear? And even things like firm birthdays, all right? It's probably, that's another thing that a lot of lawyers do with their newsletters. Like, the first thing is, look who had a birthday at my firm this month. And it's like, like, I'm glad that you care about your staff and that you celebrate their birthdays, but don't lead off your newsletters that way, because the average, person that's getting your newsletter probably doesn't care all that much.
Yeah.
So it's think about information that's going to add value to their lives. We've talked a lot about why blogging is so important. And we've talked about how valuable it is to put video FAQs up on your website. So if you have those things, those are great ingredients to a newsletter. Include a snippet of your blog entry. And to Cody's point, try not to put the entire thing there. Put a paragraph or maybe half of it, and then a button so that they, click here to read more, that takes them back to your website. Because that's actually where we want them to end up, right? Yeah. Is read the blog entry, but read it on your website, because then they're like, oh, cool. What else can I learn about this firm? And they're on your website, and maybe they're going to contact you. Maybe they're going to download a report. But we want to drive them to your website, right?
Yeah. And at the end of the day, it's really about just keeping you top of mind. I've had several potential clients. I've been on the phone with them, and they'll say, well, I'm skeptical of a newsletter. I hate it. It fills up my inbox. I never read them, all these different things. And then my question is but do you remember that person that sent it to you? Well, yeah, it was John Smith. Exactly. It did its job. So whether or not somebody's opening, obviously we want them to open it, but at the end of the day, it's really about that top of mind awareness that's most important.
Yeah. And you said it. I can tell you that, we've been doing this for almost 6 years now. And I'm always amazed that people will reach out to us, and it's somebody that we haven't necessarily had a conversation with or interacted with in years. It'll be like 4 years since we had a conversation, but they reach out and they're like, hey, so I've been getting your newsletter all this time. And back when we first talked, I wasn't ready to hire you guys, but now I am, so let's have a conversation. It's like, if they weren't getting our newsletter regularly, would they have remembered us?
Sure.
There's really no chance that they would have. I also, just a personal story, so I bought a house about a year ago, and the attorney that we worked on the closing with did a great job. Would happily recommend him to people, would happily hire him again. But I have not heard from him since. It's been almost 12 months, no newsletter, not seeing anything on social media, just not hearing from him. And to be honest, right now I can't recall his name.
Yeah.
And as much as I would like to send people his way, I don't even remember his name right now.
Yeah. And on the flip side of that, we went through a closing 2 years ago, and the real estate agent, we've gotten letters from her, we've gotten newspapers, we've gotten e-newsletters from her, and so when we go to sell our house, you can bet that she's probably going to be the one that we talk to.
Realtors are great at this.
Yeah.
Real estate agents do a great job with their marketing, and there's a lot that most of us can learn from them. Because you're right. You'll remember her because she's not letting you forget about her.
Nope, she's not. She's relentless.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And from time to time, that stuff can get a little bit annoying. But would you rather slightly annoy people, maybe sometimes, or just have them forget about you altogether? Right. I'd rather. And the thing is, we're not trying to annoy people, and I think most of the time you don't annoy people as long as you provide value to them. But if I have to err on that side, I'll do that, because otherwise you're just going to forget about me, and what does it matter at that point?
Sure. Yeah, and at the end of the day, listen, if somebody feels annoyed by your newsletter, they can simply unsubscribe.
Well, that's just it too.
It's easy.
Yeah. Yep. All right, so that's a newsletter, and I think that is probably your best weapon when it comes to referrals. Let's talk about social media, though, because that's another great way to drive referrals, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So social media, I think everybody would agree that it's not really a place for the hard sell. It's a place to build a community, and so what we try to do is we want to make sure that you're not only showing up in front of the people that already know you, again, hopefully increasing referrals, but also showing up in front of thousands of people who otherwise wouldn't see you. And again, you never know where a referral is going to come from. So again, putting out that relevant content related to your target audience about, that showcases your expertise. And again, it's really about frequency and just making sure that you're showing up consistently as much as possible.
Yeah, that's what I couldn't agree more. That's one of the best. That's what I love about social media from a marketing standpoint. Whereas an email newsletter is something that hopefully people are going to take a couple minutes to read and digest. Social media is just about those quick touch points, right? We suggest that lawyers should post daily, or at least multiple times per week on social media. And what happens then is the people that have followed you on Twitter, connected on LinkedIn, liked you on Facebook, they see these little updates, and it may only occupy like 5 seconds of their mind, but it's just a constant reminder, I'm here, I'm doing good work, and I'd love to help you. And over time, that just those repeated touch points just create the top of mind awareness that we talked about at the beginning, right? You don't let people forget you when you have that kind of presence.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. All right. So one more thing. We're going a little long here. I don't want to run out of time, but let's talk about websites for a second, because it's interesting that a lot of lawyers out there will say, hey, you know what? I don't really need my website to be good, or maybe I don't even need to have a website, because I get most of my business from referrals. They're like, I get my business from referrals, don't need to worry about my website.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts there?
Well, the first thing that would come to mind is, how much business are you missing because you don't have a website, or because you have a crappy website? You know, people are going to refer you, and those people that get that referral will search for you online, and if they can't find you, or they find something that's completely outdated, the chances are they're not going to call you. So yes, you may be getting referrals, you may be getting business from that, but more than likely you're missing out on a significant amount of business.
That's 100. Yeah, I couldn't have said it better, because when someone is referred to you, they check out your website. And if you don't have a website, they might really, especially, I think this is true for anybody across the board, but I think it's especially true for the younger generation. Like, we want to see something. We want to see some evidence to back it up. And so if you tell me that, hey, this guy does a great job, he's got a leg up, and I'm probably going to hire him, but I'm still going to check out his website. I'm still going to check him out on social media. So, yeah, it's just that simple. It's like, yes, even if you're getting your business through referrals, those people are going to go look for your website. And if it doesn't make you look good, if it doesn't educate and engage them, if it doesn't make them say, all right, this guy gets it, he takes it seriously, you're probably losing out. I'm glad you're getting business that's being, that you're getting business through referral, but you could probably be doubling it or tripling it if you had a website up.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. So that's it. You got anything you want to add, Cody?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, referrals are a big deal. It's the best way to grow your law firm, and chances are you are missing out on referrals. You could be winning. So newsletter is going to help. Social media is going to help. A website that makes you look really good is going to help. We're also going to throw a link in the comments here, a blog entry that we wrote, just some more information on this, more ways you can use the internet to really drive referrals and grow your practice. Beyond that, thanks for joining us, and be sure to check back next week.